guys, my name is Becky Sheehy and I'm a kinesiologist, a Pilates teacher, and a holistic health coach. And today I'm giving you a few simple tips on how to get rid of your foot pain forever.
Welcome to Foot Pain Solutions, a simple guide to getting rid of foot pain forever. I'm Becky Sheehy, a registered kinesiologist, Pilates teacher, and holistic health coach, and I'm going to guide you through some very simple solutions of some small things you have to do every day so that you never have foot pain again. So I'm just going to tell you a couple foot facts. Our feet make up 1/4 of the bones in our bodies, which is pretty cool because our feet are actually a very complicated structure and they actually are our foundation of support. There's 26 bones in each foot, as well as 33 joints, 19 muscles, 10 tendons, and 107 ligaments. Your big toe is like the thumb of your foot, and before we were wearing shoes, our big toes were a lot more flexible than they are now. And as you can imagine, especially shoes with a very tight toe box, your big toe is really restricted in movement. And your big toe is really responsible for balance, and it's very much responsible for toeing off in regular walking and running gait. There are over 8,000 nerves in our feet, which make them really sensitive and ticklish. If you feel like you don't have a lot of sensitivity in your feet and you're older, chances are you might have a neuropathy, which is a complication associated with diabetes. So if you're starting to notice that you don't have a lot of sensitivity in your feet, that's a big warning sign that there's a bigger problem going on. And a lot of times, the things that are happening in our feet can tell us a lot about what's happening in our entire body. So it's really important to look at this foot pain as kind of a sign or a signal that you need to pay more attention to your body as a whole, because your feet are the foundation, but if your foundation is weak, chances are the entire body is going to be weak. So if you have foot pain and then a left shoulder pain, chances are those two pains are connected, and you need to tackle your body as a whole, strengthening up your feet and your posture and your core strength so that everything works really well like a well-oiled machine. Your feet are designed to absorb shock, and they have those 3 arches in your feet. So the arches kind of are designed to be springy and absorb shock. But if that shock absorbing mechanism doesn't work, then the shock will absorb up through your ankle, your knees, your hips, your low back, even into your upper back. So it's important to understand how the feet work and kind of allow that shock absorption mechanism to work really well. And here's a hint, it's actually not in the shoes at all. It's more in your biomechanics. And your feet function their best in their natural state. And their natural state is just barefoot. So if you spend a lot of time in sandals and barefoot, your feet are very happy because they get to move, they get to breathe, and they get to move how they want to. And a lot of times, if you're a person who has a lot of foot pain, the last thing you want to do is be walking around in bare feet because it hurts, right? But if you do embrace that barefoot state, your feet will bounce back to their natural state. Their natural, happy, flexible, mobile state. And so that's what this presentation is going to be about today. We're going to teach you how to get your feet right back to their natural state so that you can move pain-free for life. So we're going to talk about the routine a little bit now, and you only get 1 pair of feet, so treat them nicely. And that's what I'm trying to drive home here is this little routine is something you can do in about 10 minutes a day, and it's going to change the way your feet work. It's going to change the way your whole body feels. So again, you got to look at your body as a system and not just part by part, because the feet are your foundation. And again, if the foundation is weak, if it's tight, if it's immobile, if it's sore, the rest of the body isn't going to function very well. So your little routine here's an overview. You're going to start with a fascia release. We're going to go into a quick stretch. Then we're going to strengthen our feet. We're going to work a little bit on balance. And then at the end of this presentation, I'm going to tell you about proper footwear and how to take inventory of your body so that you can move happy, healthy, and pain-free for the rest of your life. So now we're going to talk about fascia release. And what the heck is fascia? Well, your fascia is a giant web of innervated connective tissue. It's kind of like a giant wetsuit that covers your entire body, and it's full of nerves. It provides a framework that helps support and protect your individual muscle groups, organs, and the entire body as one unit. Because we have this nerve suit covering our entire body, it's a great way for our body to connect with our brain. And that's why mind-body movement is so important. When your mind decides you want to extend your arm or move your leg, your brain has to decide and then tell the body to do it. So fascia is kind of like a thin plasticky saran wrap that surrounds all the muscles, and it helps to create that message from the brain to the body to move it. Now, your fascia, because it is kind of like saran wrap and it's very close on top of the muscles, if we don't move our entire body, our nerve suit can get a little bit dysfunctional, especially in certain parts. So your nerve suit, it almost can become really trapped and tacked down depending on what kind of postures you sit in throughout the day. So if you're sitting a lot, then your nerve suit is going to kind of adapt to sitting. If you stand a lot, your nerve suit, your fascia, is going to adapt to standing. If you run a lot or play a lot of sports, your nerve suit will adapt to that. So yes, we're highly adaptable creatures, which is awesome, but our nerve suit also adapts if we don't move at all. So same with fascia. And fascia is on the bottom of your foot and it's very thick on the bottom of your feet. Again, back to your feet being your foundation of support, that fascia is really thick on the bottom of your feet because it protects it. And your feet are highly innervated, so that fascia is very thick and full of nervous tissue, again, for protection. But fascia doesn't have a ton of blood flow. So if your feet don't get a ton of blood flow and you're trapped in shoes all day, you need to find a way to bring that blood flow back. So we're going to go into the fascia release real quick, and then we're going to jump back on this presentation.
First exercise, we're going to release your fascia. So what you need to do is find yourself a small ball. Could be a golf ball, tennis ball, lacrosse ball. Right now I'm using a yoga tune-up ball. You're going to take this ball and you're going to rub it underneath your feet. What this does is it massages out the fascia. So all you're going to do is rub back and forth for about a minute between both feet. So about 30 seconds per foot. And you're just rubbing back and forth, just trying to release that fascia.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do is our stretch. So our stretches are pretty simple. We're going to sit on our toes, put our fingers between our toes, and stretch each toe. And we want to do this every single day. Shouldn't take you any longer than about 7 minutes. And the sweet spot is in the consistency. You want to be doing this every day. Again, I don't sell quick fixes. This is a movement program that if you're having foot pain, you should be doing these types of movements every single day for the rest of your life. Maybe that sounds like a lot of work, 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life, but it's a pretty light price tag considering you will be pain-free if you do these things every day. So making your feet feel fabulous is just a daily must. So with that being said, we're going to jump into our stretching exercises.
Okay, so for our next exercise, we're going to stretch our feet. So if you can see my feet here, my toes are untucked. What you're going to do is go ahead and tuck your toes. So as we already talked about the fascia underneath your feet can get really tight. So we're going to sit back on our heels if we can. And if that's really painful for you, you'll want to ease into it. So kind of alternate between sitting up like this with your toes tucked, so you're stretching your fascia, and then gently leaning back, and then sitting back up. And then gently leaning back, and then sitting back up. If you have pretty loose fascia, which chances are you don't because you're watching a foot pain video, but if your fascia starts to loosen up a little bit, which it will with the more consistency you put into it, you can sit right back onto your heels and just hold there to stretch out your fascia. I do this exercise every single day and I have no problem sitting back on my heels like this. And eventually you can get there too. So for the next stretch, what you're going to do is sit on your bum. And you're just going to take your foot in your hand and you're going to interlace each finger between each toe. So between each toe is kind of like a web, and it can get pretty tight too, especially when we're wearing these small shoes. So you're just going to kind of jam your fingers in between each toe, and all you're going to do is just get them as low as you can get, and you can just circle your foot around. And this feels really nice, and after you've done this a few times, it gets much easier to get in between those toes. But we got to give our toes some wiggle room. So what I recommend, stick your fingers between each toe, do this exercise just once per day. All right, and then the last exercise, number 3, don't forget to do both sides. The next exercise, number 3, is you're going to bend each toe. So you're just going to bend your big toe while pulling your little toes back. So kind of bending your big toe, curling it in, and then peeling back the rest of your toes. You're going to make your way down the foot. So you're going to bend the big toe back and the little toes, and then take the next toe and curl it under. And then you're going to just kind of repeat that move, wiggling your toes until you've made your way all the way through your foot. And again, that just kind of gets your toes nice and stretchy. Because our feet were built to move and we imprison them in shoes every day, our toes kind of forget all their movement and all their mobility. So eventually you should have some nice spready toes. They're nice and flexible, not tight, which allows your foot to move through its natural range of motion.
All right, and the next thing we're going to do as your foot pain relief solution is strengthen your feet. So since our feet have so many muscles and ligaments, it only makes sense that we strengthen them. So what I propose for you is to do the towel exercise every day. And this is an exercise I give to tons of physio patients. So check out the towel exercise and I'll see you right back here on the presentation.
For your strength component, all you're going to need is a little hand towel. So something about this big, and you're just going to put that onto the floor. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your foot on top of the towel, and you're going to wiggle your toes and scrunch up the towel bit by bit until you have the whole towel scrunched up under your foot. And as you can see, it's pretty challenging. And then what you're going to do, once you've got it all scrunched up, is you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So spreading out your towel, putting your toes right on the end, scrunch, 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 and slowly pull that towel towards you. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to strengthen all those little muscles on the bottom of your foot and help you to strengthen them all so that your foot has more balance and more strength and more integrity of the arch of the foot. So once you've done it on both sides, I recommend alternating back and forth. And let's say you're going to do about 5 repetitions of this per day.
The next thing we're going to talk about is balance. So as I've said a lot of times in this presentation, our feet are our foundation of support. To work on balance is to strengthen our entire proprioceptive system, allowing the whole body to balance out. The proprioceptive system is similar to fascia. So if you have really highly functioning fascia, that is proprioception. And I guess how to explain it to you is proprioception is how your body knows where it is in space if your eyes are closed. So when your eyes are closed and you're balancing on one foot, you'll notice that your ankle wobbles around a ton. That's your proprioceptive system working, trying to figure out where your body is in space and what tiny little adaptations need to be made so that you can balance. Unfortunately, if we never balance on one foot, we never get a chance to make our whole body balance out or take an inventory of what needs balancing. We're going to try standing on one foot every day and check that exercise out here.
Your last exercise is balance, and balance is so important for the whole body. So because our feet are our foundation of support, we want to create a very stable and solid foundation, and by doing that, we need to work our proprioception. Okay, so what you're going to do for your last exercise is you're going to shift your weight onto one foot and just stand on one foot. And then you embrace all the little wobbles that might happen while your foot begins to kind of feel out the proprioception. And then you just kind of hold on one foot for 30 seconds, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So get all those little wobbles out. Try to stack your spine up really tall. Abs are on. Everything is pulled up and in. See if you can relax through your upper body and just hold for 30 seconds. So holding for 30 seconds each side as many times a day as you can is going to be really beneficial, but let's say you can do 30 seconds twice per day. That's really great too. And another thing that you do twice per day is brush your teeth. So bonus points if you can do it while brushing your teeth. That's just my tip for you.
All right, next we're going to talk about proper footwear. So maybe you've heard a lot of these buzzwords: pronation, supination, neutral foot type. A lot of times when you're buying shoes, running shoes, they tell you you need to pick the right shoe for your foot type. While I do agree somewhat with these statements, I still believe that you should be barefoot as much as you can. And the reason being is our feet really need to move. Our arches need to function or else they just go away. And we need to work those little muscles and bones of our feet all the time so that they can keep adapting to the stresses we place on them. So in my opinion, the best footwear you can wear is something with a zero drop and something that's very flexible and mimics bare feet. A shoe I really like is the New Balance Vibram firm sole minimus shoe because it's very flexible. It has zero drop and it's a really great shoe for allowing your feet to move. I also wear a shoe called Earth Runners, which has zero drop, and it's a sandal that has one loop all the way around that kind of mimics the same arches as your feet. So one strap goes along long ways on your foot, and then one strap goes over the arch of your foot, and then another strap comes around the back. So it's a very simple, very minimal shoe that allows your foot to move. Can you still wear your cute flats at work? The answer to that is if you're doing your exercises every single day, you can, to a degree, undo what you're doing with footwear. But the more awareness you bring to your body every day with the type of shoes that you're wearing, as you're starting to kind of build up this self-care routine and noticing what feels good for your feet, I think that you might make that decision for yourself that maybe those cute flats and heels that you're wearing to work aren't the best shoe for you. But that decision I'm going to leave up to you. What footwear is best for the activities that you do daily, that also depends on you. I highly recommend that you become more curious about how your footwear impacts how your feet feel day to day. And try out all your pairs of shoes and just kind of take this personal inventory of how you feel after wearing those shoes. And then you'll start to determine how your body feels when you wear one shoe versus another shoe. And with that taking inventory being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about body awareness and how you can understand how your body responds to any stress. And it's a skill that you can practice. By developing body awareness, we get better at assessing ourselves and understanding what we need and when we need it before those pains and injuries occur. And that's why I developed the 21 Days of Movement program, which is a 21-day physio alternative program that's going to help you develop this body awareness, assess your body from head to toe, including the feet, and give you small daily exercises that you can take every day in under 10 minutes to really just master your body and master what you can do to keep your body out of pain. Because let's face it, adults need to move every day too. We see animals moving. When a dog gets up from a nap, it stretches. Little children are playing. They never have pain. And it's the same for adults. We need to move every single day. So 21 Days of Movement is the perfect program for forming a habit, carving out that little bit of time that you need every day to take excellent care of your body. So keep an eye out for this program because it's coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching this presentation from both me and your feet. And if you want more information on the 21 Days of Movement program, check out sweathappywellness.com and make sure you keep an eye out on your emails because more information is coming on that very soon. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you guys so much for signing up for my email list, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Just make sure you keep an eye out in your inbox for more announcements on 21 Days of Movement, the physiotherapy alternative that's going to change the way you move forever.